สวัสดีเจ้ายินดีต้อนรับเข้าสู่จ่องสะใภ้สกอตแลนด์นะเจ้าวันนี้แม่จะมาแบ่งปันวิวสวยๆงามๆให้ได้รับชมด้วยกันนะเจ้าคลิปนี้นะเจ้าจะเป็นคลิปเมื่อปี2015นะเจ้าที่แม่ได้มาแอลตีเมืองเอดินบะระนะเจ้าเมืองเอดินบะระนี่ก็คือจะเป็นเมืองหลวงของประเทศสกอตแลนด์นะเจ้าแม่เดินทางจากเมืองอาบาดีนนะเจ้าไปเมืองเอดินบะระด้วยการนั่งรถไฟนะเจ้ารวมระยะเวลาในการเดินทางทั้งหมดนะเจ้า2 ชั่วโมงครึ่งนะเจ้ากว่าจะไปถึงเมืองเอดินบะระนะเจ้าแล้วตรงนี้คือวิวสวยๆ2ข้างทางนะเจ้าที่เอามาฝากนะเจ้าเป็นวิวตอนนั่งรถไฟนะเจ้าผ่านเมืองต่างๆนะเจ้าหลังจากที่นั่งรถไฟมาถึงเมืองเอดินบะระแล้วนะเจ้าแม่ก็จะเข้าพักตีคาราวานนะเจ้าก็เป็นบ้านคาราวานที่จองไว้นะเจ้าเพราะว่าอย่างที่แม่ถึงเลือกเจ้าคาราวานเป็นหลังก็เพราะว่าสะดวกสบายถ้าเฮามีลูกน้อยนะเจ้าสะดวกสบายหลายอย่างสามารถทำอาหารเองตัวก็ได้นะเจ้าแล้วก็รู้สึกว่าจะเป็นส่วนตัวมากกว่าไปอยู่โรงแรมนะเจ้าเพราะว่าแม่ม้านี่พักผ่อนประมาณ1 อาทิตย์นะเจ้าการติดเจ้าคาราวานนี่ลูกๆเขาก็จะมีพื้นที่ในการเล่นวิ่งเล่นได้เยอะกว่าที่เขาไปเจ้าโรงแรมนะเจ้าแล้วตรงนี้นะเจ้าก็จะเป็นโซนด้านหน้านะเจ้าเอาไว้นั่งทำบาร์บีคิวทานอาหารด้านหน้าส่วนตรงนี้ก็จะเป็นห้องโซนของห้องนั่งเล่นนะเจ้ามีโซฟามีทีวีทุกอย่างเรียบร้อยนะเจ้าแล้วพอเราเดินเข้ามาตั้งในแหมน้อยนะเจ้าก็จะเป็นโซนอ่าโต๊ะกินข้าวเอาไว้สำหรับทานอาหารแล้วก็มีห้องครัวเล็กๆนะเจ้าไว้เราทำอาหารพร้อมไมโครเวฟของทำครัวทุกอย่างมีครบหมดนะเจ้าแล้วหลังจากนั้นโซนด้านในของคาราวานนะเจ้าก็จะมีห้องน้ำอยู่ซ้ายมือแล้วนี่ก็คือห้องนอนใหญ่เป็นของปอกับแม่นะเจ้าห้องนอนของปอกับแม่ก็จะกว้างกว่าห้องนอนของเด็กๆน้อยหนึ่งนะเจ้ามีตู้ใส่เสื้อผ้าทุกอย่างให้เรียบร้อยนะเจ้าแบบบิวอินหมดแล้วตรงนี้นะเจ้าก็จะเป็นโซนห้องของเด็กๆนะเจ้าจะมี2 เตียงแยกกันแบบนี้นะเจ้าที่แม่แนะนำคาราวานก็เพราะแบบนี้นะเจ้าเด็กๆก็จะแฮปปี้มีพื้นที่ให้วิ่งเล่นได้ดีกว่าเฮาไปเจ้าโรงแรมนะเจ้ามีทั้งสนามหญ้าให้วิ่งเล่นข้างบ้านคาราวานนะเจ้าถ้ามาเป็นครอบครัวแม่แนะนำเลยถ้ามาเอดินบะระนะเจ้าคาราวานเป็นหลังสะดวกสบายแล้วก็คุ้มกว่านะเจ้าตรงคาราวานนะเจ้าพอเฮาบ่อยากทำอาหารเฮาก็สามารถเดินออกมาแล้วเพิ่นจะมีเป็นศูนย์อาหารมีร้านค้ามีร้านสเต็กให้เลือกทานได้หลายอย่างนะเจ้าแล้วก็มีทั้งสวนสนุกสนามเด็กเล่นให้เด็กๆได้เล่นแล้วก็สามารถเดินเที่ยวทะเลก็ได้นะเจ้าแล้วเฮาก็จะใช้ระยะเวลาในการเดินทางจากคาราวานเข้ามาในเมืองประมาณ10 นาทีนะเจ้าต่อไปนะเจ้าแม่ก็จะพาชมในตัวเมืองเอดินบะระนะเจ้าเอดินบะระคาสเซิลนะเจ้าวันนี้มาฟังเสียงไก่โลนะเจ้าเปิ่นจะป้าเฮาแอลทั่วเมืองนะเจ้าเพราะว่าไก่เขาจะสามารถบรรยายแล้วก็บอก เกี่ยวกับเมืองเอดินบะได้ดีกว่า
Enjoy. Colin is my name. I'm your guide for the next 65 minutes. The driver is James. This tour takes 65 minutes from start to finish. The bad news, if you stay on for 65 minutes, you have to listen to me for 65 minutes. If you don't want to do that, you can go off any of the pre-arranged stops, Edinburgh Castle, etc. And if you do that, you've no more than 15 minutes to wait for another bus. These buses are going round every 15 minutes. Right? They're left, you're right. You have to switch everything around. When I say they're left, you'll have to remember it's your right. Into the palace, you'll see, look at the left, immediately you go past this building, at your left, you'll see the beautiful twin turret arches, each capped with 2 towers. The beautiful Palace of Holyrood House at your left now. And on the right-hand side, by way of contrast, the architecturally stunning Scottish Parliament building. I'll talk more about it in a few minutes. We'll come back round this way. In the meantime, I'll concentrate on the palace. The palace is coming into view on your left. You see the lampposts on either side have got a lamp. We've got a crown on top. These crowns denote you're entering a royal park. The Holyrood Park to your right, the palace to your left. And here you are coming into the Holyrood Park. This is one of the largest urban parks in Europe, the Holyrood Park. It's 5 miles in diameter and it contributes to Edinburgh being one of the greatest cities in Europe. You're virtually the centre of Edinburgh. I showed you Athens, seen the big old volcano, remember, from the top. You can't see it now because we're too close to it. But what you can see are the Salisbury Crags, the volcanic sill of Athens Sea. The next building on the right, stop number 4. If you think the roof on the building here looks like the Millennium Dome, now the O2 Arena in London, you'd be right. This is Edinburgh's Millennium Project, a 5-star geological exhibition called Our Dynamic Earth. It traces the history of the planet Earth from the time of the Big Bang to the present, even looks into the future. You can experience an earthquake if you go in here, you can touch a glacier, you can even take a journey to the centre of the Earth. Lots of interesting exhibits in here, lots of impressive technology, i.e. lots of multipressing. Any takers for Our Dynamic Earth? Geological exhibition? No. We'll go to the car park and come out. You saw the Scottish Parliament from the front. As we turn right here, if you look to your left, the grey modern building there, that's the side elevation of the Scottish Parliament. The Scottish Parliament was surrounded in controversy when it was completed in 2004. It's since become established as an icon of modernism and Scottish self-assertion. The Scottish Parliament here is the home to a 21st century ideal of self-government, last joined in Scotland 300 years ago when the union of parliaments took place between Scotland and England in 1707. The first minister of the Scottish Parliament, you'll all have heard of her, I'm sure, none other than Nicola Sturgeon. She's also leader of the Scottish National Party, whose aim is the restoration of Scottish national sovereignty, or independence. 18 September 2014, you probably remember the Scottish population voted in a referendum to decide whether or not Scotland should once again be independent. 55% of the Scottish electorate voted to stay part of the union with England. How's that? So far so good? Yeah. Good. Hi, welcome to the tour. Edinburgh's very much a city of contrast. There's 3 very contrasting tourist attractions here. One behind you, Our Dynamic Earth, geological exhibition. Over there on the right, you see the flagpole, the top of the palace, that's the Palace of Holyrood House. And in front of the bus, the Scottish Parliament. There's a charge for the first 2, there's no charge for the Scottish Parliament. So this is the Royal Mile, the spine of the old town. And that's a high court, the highest court, criminal court in Scotland, the High Court of Edinburgh. Well, there is a bit of police activity here. Okay, this is stop number 10 for Edinburgh Castle. Any takers? Don't panic if you can't see the castle. You can't see the castle because we're too close. You walk 5 minutes up there, you see one turret in the middle, walk 5 minutes up there, you come to Edinburgh Castle, come back to this stop here, you get a bus here every 15 minutes.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. This is the oldest street in Edinburgh. It dates back to the 8th or 9th centuries. The buildings don't, because there was a big fire here in 1825. Everything was destroyed by fire. So the buildings at the most are 200 years old. Apart from that one with the gold bed, that escaped the fire. That dates back to the 1500s. It's obviously very old. Gladstone's land. It's been restored now. It's a historical house. It's been restored to show how people would have lived there 300-400 years ago. With one exception, however, there was no running water in these days, and it was strictly a case in these days of one family per room, regardless of the size of the family, everything in the same room. When the bells of St Giles Cathedral down there went at 9 o'clock every night in these days, that was a signal for everybody to open their windows and shout out through their windows, "Gardez-le!" From the French, "Gardez-le!" Beware of the water. People would then throw out into the street below all their water, etc., etc., from their day's activities. Sometimes, sometimes there are 2 or 3 model pigs reclining on the pavement below the arches. These pigs are put there to give added reality to the situation, because pigs used to wander about in these days to help to mop up the refuse. How about that? We're heading down to the lower level now. The people in the old town here, before the new town, we'll come to the new town later, before the new town was built, the people in the old town here felt very, very safe and secure in the old walled town. So what did they do as the population increased? They went up the way. They built 4 or 5 stories up the way. But because there's a valley on either side, we'll go down to the grass market down right underneath here. They would build down the way, 8, 9, 10 stories down the way. Unbelievably, in the late 1700s, there was as many as 15 stories here in the old town of Edinburgh. Edinburgh never got the title in these days as the skyscraper community of Europe. So if anyone tells you the first skyscrapers were in New York, do not believe them. They were right here in the old town in the late 1700s. Unbelievable, but true. Because when we go down to the grass market, if you look up at one point, you'll still see 8 or 9 stories coming up, finishing where we are here. The old Highland Tolbooth Church is no longer a church, it's now the hub, the headquarters of the Edinburgh International Arts Festival. I'm going to talk about Edinburgh Castle on your right. If you want to look down to your left past these buildings, you'll see the lower level we're coming down to. On the right hand side, Edinburgh Castle. Where these people are standing up on your right, that's the Edinburgh Castle Esplanade, where the Edinburgh military tattoo or display takes place up there every night in August. The largest military event of its kind anywhere in the world. And here it is, Edinburgh Castle, the imposing world-famous stronghold that dominates the Edinburgh skyline from its vantage point on top of an extinct volcano. It used to be a royal residence, it used to be a big military garrison, it's now a smaller garrison. It used to be a prison. It's none of these now. Edinburgh Castle is purely a tourist attraction. And it is in fact the second most popular tourist attraction in Britain after the Tower of London. And these rocks in which the castle is built, believe me, these rocks were an active volcano 340 million years ago. And an elderly gentleman on one of my tours yesterday who said, "Yes, I remember it well." You think that? I think he was joking. Okay, well, we're down the lower level down there. To get there, we're going to turn left into the Fountain Bridge area of Edinburgh, where one of Edinburgh's most famous sons was born in 1930. He's still very much alive, aged 85. He started his working life right here as a milkman. He went down to London in the 1950s, got a break in the theatre industry. He got an even bigger break in the film industry. He became the first, and we have to say the best, James Bond. Sean Connery, Sir Sean Connery, born right here in this part of Edinburgh in 1930. If anyone does not agree Sean Connery is the best James Bond, you have to go off the bus at the next stop. Nobody ever has yet. One or two have threatened, mind you. He's a very patriotic Scotsman, Sean Connery. He's a great backer of the recent Scottish Parliament you saw earlier on in the tour. He's such a patriotic Scotsman, Sean Connery. He spends most of his time now in the Bahamas. You'll see a black street, you'll see a street running underneath there. Here it is. How about that? Either side. And that's the Cowgate. It leads into the grass market we'll come to. Stop number 8. The next stop we're coming to is stop number 7 for the National Museum. Any takers? No. Up, we're turning right up Chambers Street. This is Edinburgh University territory. The dome up there is the dome of Edinburgh University. On top of the dome is the golden boy holding aloft the torch of knowledge. This is Edinburgh University, Old College of Edinburgh University. Now houses the law faculty of Edinburgh University. Up here on your left-hand side at the top is the National Museum of Scotland, the major Scottish museum. No fewer than 1.8 million tourists visited the National Museum last year, and it's free of charge to enter. All Edinburgh municipal museums and all Edinburgh art galleries are free of charge to enter. Stop number 7. The next 3 stops should be 8, 9 and 10. They are, but not in that order. They're reversed. We're now going to do stops 10, 9 and 8 in that order. It's a big diversion. We're turning right over towards Edinburgh Castle. Stop number 10. As we turn right, you guys, especially look to your left, you're going to see the most photographed statue in Edinburgh. You see the Greyfriars Bobby pub. Look out this back window. Look out here. See the Greyfriars Bobby pub. In front of the pub you see a gas lamp. Below the gas lamp, see where that man with the brown jacket standing is? A statue of a dog. You see it? That, the black dog. That is the ordinary dog. That is Greyfriars Bobby, immortalised in 2 Walt Disney films. Who wants to know the story of Greyfriars Bobby? Shall we go for it? Greyfriars Bobby was a Skye Terrier, 2 years old in 1858 when his master died and was buried in the churchyard behind the pub. For the next 14 years, every day on a daily basis, Bobby guarded his master's grave until Bobby himself died 14 years later. There's a beautiful memorial in the churchyard behind the pub to Greyfriars Bobby, which bears the immortal words, Greyfriars Bobby, let his loyalty and devotion be a lesson to us all. How's that? Brings a tear to the eye. Almost. And wait for it. Some dreadful people say it's not even a true story. They say 14 years. I don't think so. More like 2 weeks. You do want to spoil a good story. Right. Are you ready for a major announcement? Yes. Let's go for it. You are now approaching the heart of the old town of Edinburgh, the medieval old town of Edinburgh, the ancient metropolis of Scotland. Forget the age of the buildings. This is the Royal Mile you're coming on to here. If you go off the bus and walk down the hill, you come to the Palace of Holyrood, that's where we've been. We're turning left into the Lawn Market, stop number 10. We're off the route map because we're doing stops 10, 9 and 8 in reverse. So we're turning left into the Lawn Market, stop number 10. The oldest street in Edinburgh dates back to the 8th or 9th centuries. As I keep saying, I repeat myself, I know the buildings predate, the area predates the buildings here in the old town. The area, underline the word area, resonates with centuries of history. The buildings do. There's a new hotel up here, built about 10 years ago. Medieval times, it's in the lower level. It's a place where public hangings used to take place down here. Public executions were a very popular form of entertainment here. As many as 10,000 people used to cram into the grass market to watch the public hangings. The last one took place not that long ago, 150 years ago in 1864, when George Bryce was hanged for murdering a nanny in a fit of drunken jealousy. Good view of the castle here, there you are. How about that? This is a castle, unlike some lesser attempts at sea level. Edinburgh Castle. Stop number 8 for the grass market. Any takers? No. They're very old part. There's no old buildings left in the grass market. But the area is very old. As I keep saying. We go along here at the far end of the grass market. Just where that traffic light is. If you look up to the left, you'll still see 8 or 9 stories going up to the upper level where we were earlier. There's a pub along here, Maggie Dixon's pub. You'll see a green pub. You'll see it in a few minutes as we move forward. I'll tell you a dreadful story about Maggie Dixon. She was a young lady in Edinburgh in 1728 who found she was pregnant. That was a dreadful state of affairs in 1728 because Maggie was not married. She gave birth to the baby, which they reckoned was stillborn. That did not satisfy the authorities. Maggie was charged with murdering her baby, found guilty of murder and hanged here in the grass market. However, as her distraught family were taking the body home in a horse and cart along these cobbled streets, they thought they heard knocking coming from the coffin. They did hear knocking coming from the coffin. The hangman had not done his job properly. Maggie was still alive. She was released. She couldn't be hanged for the same crime twice. She became a celebrity in Edinburgh, earning the nickname Half-Hanged Maggie, or Half-Hanged Maggie. How was that for a dreadful, not funny story? Thankfully, we've made progress since these days. Terrible situation. The green pub over there, the White Hart Inn, you can see it says EST 1516 against it, established 1516. That's reckoned to be the oldest pub in Edinburgh. I would suggest it's undergone a few changes since 1516.
หลังจากที่เฮานั่งรถบัสทัวร์หล่อเมืองแล้วนะเจ้ารถบัสก็จะมาจอดตรงนี้นะเจ้าเรียกว่า Princess Street Garden นะเจ้าจะเป็นการ์เด้นงามๆเฮาสามารถเดินถ่ายรูปสวยๆได้นะเจ้าหลังจากที่เฮาเดินถ่ายรูปเก็บภาพสวยๆแล้วนะเจ้าเฮาก็จะเดินต่อจากการ์เด้นตรงนั้นขึ้นมานะเจ้าเดินขึ้นมาตรงคาสเซิลด้านบนนี่ก็คือ Edinburgh Castle นะเจ้าจะเป็นโซนด้านหน้าของ Edinburgh Castle นะเจ้าและเฮาก็สามารถเดินเข้าไปด้านในนะเจ้าบางส่วนของคาสเซิลจะมีการจ่ายเงินเพื่อเข้าไปดูคาสเซิลด้านในตัวเองนะเจ้า ขอบคุณที่รับชมฝากกดติดตามกด Subscribe เป็นกำลังใจให้จัง YouTube Channel ของแม่ด้วยนะเจ้าขอบคุณเจ้า